Or he became... I'm not reading this. My voice is fucked. This is in-game footage too. I didn't see that the first time I saw this. Oh, gorgeous. I mean, these are probably pre-rendered cutscenes, but... I love the cape, man, in his gladitorial armor that was like on the Marauders in Eternal. Fucking yes. I can't wait to see cosplayers, man. His gun. Oh, dude, he's got a shield. We're gonna Captain America this bitch. Big ray fired from a floating citadel. Look at that. The shoulder spikes. Let's go. Incubus, or Mancubus, beg pardon, not Incubus. Like some gladiatorial zombies. That's a new weapon too, as well as the, like, the chainsword bloody shield. That's the one, the spiders, but they fire a lot faster now. Holy damn. That's so cool. Captain America chainsword style shield. And that looks like it replaces the blood punch. Got like a perfect parry with the shield. A bash, and he's got like a mace or a flail to sort of replace. And the mech that we got in Eternal that we never got to use. And a fucking dragon levels. Guys, id literally listened to everything we wanted from Doom Eternal and just went, here you go. Eat well, my children. Oh, man. My God. We are eating well, Doom fans. We are eating well. I'm so goddamn hype. All right, so let's do a breakdown of this one now. Obviously, we're gonna skip through this part. But this bit. Before he became a hero, he was a super weapon for the gods and kings. So I thought this was when I thought he did time as a king, but I might be wrong in my understanding of the lore. I don't think he was a king, but I know he did when he got to Argentina, they captured him and they forced him to fight in the arena, and he beat everyone there and they kind of went, oh shit, this one's kind of good. So they made him sort of like a frontline warrior. And then once he kept just doing what he was doing, because they expected him to die. It was frontline sort of stuff. So they expected him to die out. But when he didn't, they just went, this one's special. We're keeping this one, right? And thus, he became the Slayer. I don't know whether they deemed him the Slayer after he received the blessing down here, down in Argentina. But that's pretty much what he is at that point. So, ironically enough, it's following a similar beat to Doom Eternal, where now we're facing the invasion of Argentina. This is when the demons followed the Slayer from the portal that took him to Argentina, and now the demons are making their way to Argentina. And there seems to be a siege on one of their fortresses, and you can see the big old summoning pentagram. We've got some, looks like aerial vehicles. I don't know whether they're vehicles or whether they're just floating fortresses, similar to like the Slayer's one. Very cool stuff. Yeah, there's ships, they're firing, but they're red, so they might be demon technology. Because Argentina uses the blue until it's corrupted, of course, and then it becomes red, like the Marauders. I'm confused about this. This might be... Perhaps the demons have been around for a little while at this point, and they have covered their Colosseum in this. Because it does look like a demon skull, like a Titan skull. But I'm not too sure how far into the invasion we're looking at here. Now, this looks like a flying citadel. There's something here as well. I'm assuming this might be the Slayer getting fucking catapulted again, like he did on Phobos, where he just jumped into a cannon and said, I am the bullet. Yeah, there's a flying citadel also under siege. This looks more... It looks like the mix of Maker and Argentinian technology. So we might already have the Makers, or at least I think it was the Seraphim that was down here. So Samuel Aiden was involved with the Argentinians and giving them technology to help them repel the demons. And that's sort of the technological design I see there. This is the Slayer in his vault. Where I'm pretty sure this would be the same area where we get the Crucible in Doom Eternal, where we go to retrieve the hilt. And like, that's Maker symbols. That stuff in the equestrian hold in Urdak, that's all Maker symbols. So there's definitely the Maker intervention that's already happened here. They've given us the technology. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Doesn't look like the meat hook's there. It looks like the meat hook was something that came to Eternal. But we're probably going to get a lot of movement tech, not from the meat hook now, but from that shield bash that we'll see in a second. Look at that. That's some big fucking barrels, baby. We're not working with 16 gauge. Doomslayer's over here pumping fucking 34 gauge. Holy shit. And the shield. Yeah, look, that's the mark of the beast. That's the Slayer one. So he's probably already dubbed the Slayer. But that Captain America ass. I love the spikes on his pauldron. Just his armor set, man. Doom Eternal. Like, Doom 2016, awesome. Looked mean. Looked hard. Looked like he was ready to fuck shit up. Doom Eternal, they stripped some plates off. They made him look like he was more maneuverable because it's a faster game. So fair enough, everything made sense there. And they gave him the wrist blade, which is fantastic, both from an aesthetic perspective and a functional perspective in the game. Awesome. And now he's got the cape on. He's got all the spikes. It's very gladitorial. Like when we see the pauldron here, it's all like layered armor. It's got that waist chain, like a little bit of there's some chain mail and some leather on like a, what do they call it? Like a loincloth style sort of thing. He's still bare bicep, so he's not quite 2016 Praetorian armor. So that was one of the, no, that's not the Citadel, but it looks like Maker in design. Because it's that white metal, smooth edges, red trim. And the yellow energy, which is like the Maker. So we might have all three factions right now. We might have the Argentinarians, the Demons, and the Makers that are involved in the story still, which is great because it was a little bit sad to see they introduced the Makers and made them gave them all the lore because they were technically always there. And then promptly in Doom Eternal, we wiped them out. So giving them lore. And I've noticed, yeah, like that shot wipes out all the demons, but that looked like this. No, that wasn't the Slayer. But look at that. I love the slight up, the up on the pauldron on his shoulder and the spikes. It just like everything about it looks fucking mean, and it's I'm all for it. So these are the new Mancubus. They don't quite have all of their stuff on there. They look a little grimier than the Doom Eternal ones, because Doom 2016 ones looked very tech oriented, like they were built in with their tech and being experimented on. Then the Doom Eternal ones stripped them back and made them look more like the old Mancubus from the original games. Now these ones look like a little bit of a mix. They've got big old backpacks on them now. Their heart thing isn't just like dead center anymore. It's a little bit, where the heart actually is. Their projectiles look a lot less menacing, bigger, but less menacing than 2016 and Eternal, because they were pretty quick and they hit you hard, and they were like they were the big guys, but they were like the sniper units. They'd fuck you up. These guys look like they're a little bit more bullet hell oriented. And like, look at that. That's the design for the new cannons, their arm cannons, which is fucking sick. That's some Warhammer looking ass stuff there. They might still have their concentrated shot that's a little bit quicker, and then they might also have these shots, which are a bit more spammy, a bit more bullet hell, just to give you a little bit more to think about. And maybe emphasize blocking. I think blocking is going to be a big one. We had a full frontal assault being quick in Doom Eternal, but this might be taking a little bit more of a a little bit more of a Souls-like approach, where you want to do some blocks and stuff as well. That shield's going to be integral. Like, they don't show us something like that, show off all the cool kit, and that's not something integral. Remember when they showed us the hammer in Tag 1 and 2? Oh my god. Once they gave us the hammer, that became fundamental to how you do it. It was especially important for the final boss. But yeah, and then we've got like demonic foot soldiers, like a sword and shield sort of thing. So it's definitely going to be, that Doom dance that they talk about, where you've got a bunch of mechanics that you have to juggle about, maintain, keep the flow up. That's how you stay alive. That's how you finish the levels. If you start fumbling those things, you start neglecting one of those mechanics, you're going to fall short somewhere, and the demon's going to eat you up. This is a new weapon. Holy damn. And I want to guesstimate it's called the Skull Splitter because one, it's got a big skull on there and it looks like a split shot, like it's firing a bunch of split rounds on them. This. And it looks like it's good for clearing out like rooms of ads and getting rid of all like your light enemies and just peppering down fire. And then this. Sorry. Can we just look at it? Every Warhammer fan has just become a Doom fan. That is the chainsword put onto Captain America's shield and slapped with the Slayer. Music to my ears, visual nourishment for my eyeballs. I am having such a great time right now. It's so cool, man. Now that looks like a variant of a Revenant. It's got the shoulder mounted cannon sort of thing. This is before the UAC started sticking shit on the demons. So they've got their original forms, which I don't know whether they'd be homing skulls there or whether they're just like to pepper things out. But he was dead pretty quick. This looks like a new demon. New attacks, new demon. Green. Why is one of these green? My theory is the parries. I reckon similar to like Cuphead, and I think Hollow Knight does a similar thing, where you can like deflect or parry certain colored objects or certain colored attacks. And this is a green one, so either it's going to do a status effect, it's going to do more damage, or it's a parryable, which is where I'm leaning towards. And like you block that and it either sends it back at him and stuns him, or it just stuns him for some capacity. This is a new demon. It looks like it takes similar beats from the Summoner from 2016, where it sort of threw the energy waves at you. Oh, no, it was on a mount. So it was a separate demon, and then there was a mount, which I'd imagine is going to replace the Pinky. Now, I got two things here. One, Arachnoid, whatever, I can't remember what they're called, looks sick as fuck. Attacks very different, attacks similarly, but on a higher capacity. Two, what the fuck is this? Is this replacing our Cacodemon? It looks like a floating Arachnotron. And then there's something else over here as well. It's probably another one. But look how fast this thing... Also, another new weapon. It's like a nail gun, javelin nail gun. I am 100% here for that. Give me the gibbing. Give me the ability to fucking staple a demon to a wall. That's hilarious. I love it. And it, like, design-wise, beautiful. They look like railroad spikes. But look at that. That is unleashing hell on you. That is fast firing. Yeah, that thing is unleashing hell on you versus the Arachnotrons in Eternal where you could dodge their shots. So I very much think any of the firing-based demons are going to be a lot more of a threat, and it's going to very much emphasize blocking in this game. Look at that. I reckon it's just going to be like, this is your power fantasy. Also, Archvile. That's an Archvile over there. It's giving us, like, Doom's already a massive power fantasy here. They're going to give us clusters of, like, just weak enemies just to fucking have at. You throw that chain shield into the enemies and it comes back cleaving half of them down. The Skull Splitter, whatever the fuck else they want to give us. This is going to be a really fun game and a really cool game. I'm so here for it. Let's look at this. Got, like... Bruh, look at that. That looks like the things in Baldur's Gate. I can't remember what they're called. The Mind Flayer ships. They've got little tentacle things hanging down. These are definitely demon ships. Yeah, you can see all the symbols, and it just looks like pirate ships, but space. Or flying, at least. Argenturian, the blue fire that we see, that sort of similar to the one that we used to summon the dragon. Yeah, this is an assault on the city. And then we get that staple gun. Now, this is the really interesting parts, because the Blood Punch was a really big thing in Doom Eternal. It was used for cleaving off big groups of enemies. You give it a punch, or it was more powerful to sort of whittle down the big enemies and put them in a stun state so you could glory kill them. Again, that's another Archvile. Like, look, it's the same sort of stance, how he stands up with his shoulders up high and his neck down low, glowing fingers. So that's going to be our summoner enemy there, as well as a massive pain in the ass mage style character. But look at this charge. Boom. They're all dead. I don't think they're getting back up. And that's going to be a massive movement kit for us, I reckon. Similar to the Blood Punch, how we're breaking through walls and stuff, we're going to have a shield bash. And that's sick. Now, I don't know if he was previously weakened, but that was a fucking one-shot. Maybe Archviles are more common, but weaker and have less capacity. That might be a thing. Now that's a Hell Knight. Interestingly enough, he had green energy around him, which I'm again going on the green attacks being parryable. Remember the Marauders in Doom Eternal. When their eyes flash green when they were doing an attack, that was your attack window. Same with the Dark Lord. That was the attack window. That's when you hit them. So that's probably going to be your parry window. And you can see he's stunned here. I was going to say the green energy reminds me of like the Barons of Hell in Doom 2016 when they had green energy balls, but it's probably more likely that's their parryable attacks, which I reckon they've made it less choreographed in the sense of their attacking, and it looks very much more just their attacks, and you have to be quick to notice, or you have to know what their attack already looks like, and stuff you'll learn throughout the game. Like the game will spoon feed it to you a little bit and then go, all right, do it or you die, which I love about the Doom games. Bang, dead. You might even get extra damage for that. Like you might get the 4 times damage just for the one shot if you parry an enemy. And look at this. Boom. Massive charge down. This is a new demon. Looks sick as fuck. Yeah, 100% that shield's a movement-based ability for some puzzles as well. But look at this guy. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that when I was started talking about this. The mace. Obviously in Doom Eternal we had the sword on his arm, the retractable blade. Now we've got a fucking flail. A flail to attack with as our melee weapon, as well as some kicks. So I reckon this might be a choreographed finisher sort of thing, or like one of those multi-stage finishers, but they've just taken off the glow effect that lets you know that they're in that stun state, just for cinematic purposes, obviously. And he's got demon arm. Like, could this be... When I look at that, I instantly think the Dark Lord's armor in Tag 2. It looks like the Dark Lord's armor. Same color theme, same aesthetic, same palette. Everything's there. Brother, and he plugs in. Look, he's plugged in. He's rigged in. So we knew that thing on his chest had some functional capacity to it, because it was used to unlock certain things when you went to King Novak's chambers. I can't remember what it's called. Exaltia in Doom Eternal. But yeah, the mech. We all wanted to use this in Eternal. When everyone saw it on the Slayer's hub, we all saw the mech and went, oh, is this going to be the big fight? We all thought, with the Icon of Sin being as big as it is that going to be? And I reckon perhaps in an earlier version of the game, that was their intention, and that's why it's there. But thank God it's just like, oh, we all know you guys want to use that. Let's give him the mech. And it doesn't look like it's going to be like purely cinematic either. It looks like it's going to be functional. We get to run around. Maybe very basic, but I hope, even in a basic way, that we get to properly fight in it. And it'd be cool. And this is the dragons, man. Like Slayer standing before the dragon. How sick. How sick is that? Also, is this a little nod to Skyrim? Bethesda? Are you making id make a little nod to Skyrim? Because that looks like the Skyrim helmet. That's hilarious. Well done. And red energy. Like that's his crucible, his sword, his hammer, red energy. This is the Slayers. And I don't know if you noticed, if we go back, like, for those, I was initially concerned seeing this, that this just looks like maybe it's a flight thing and we're just getting some interactive flight. But I've looked at it again when we go here and we go, that's guns. Motherfucking guns on this guy. We're getting a full dragon flight level. Or at least a section. The Dark Ages, baby. Also, Dragon Glory kills, maybe? Question mark? 2025, baby. It's around the corner. I'm hyped. I'm so excited, man. We've been here for 20 minutes. I haven't even played X-Defiant, and I'm just gushing over this game. So happy, guys. So happy. And there was nothing else along here, was there? What have we got? It's coming on Game Pass. Right, it's because this was aired as part of the Xbox show-off with like all Black Ops 6 and shit like that. But yeah, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, and PS5. I don't technically own Doom Eternal anymore because the Bethesda launcher shut down and I failed to migrate my account properly. So when this game comes out, when we get the proper announcement date for it, I've always wanted to do a Doom-a-thon for Twitch, right? I wanted to do a Doom-a-thon. Maybe we'll link it up with a charity, right? once this game's announced, I'll figure out the amount of time, roughly how long it's going to take me to play the games, because I remember Doom Eternal took me about 3 days to do, and I know I can finish Doom 2016 in one sitting. So maybe about 4 or 5 days before the release, it's set to release in my area. 4 or 5 days before it's set to release in Australia, we'll play through Doom 2016, then we'll do Doom Eternal, then the tag DLCs, and then time it perfectly so it releases, so we finish with the release of Doom The Dark Ages, and then we fucking grind it out. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so goddamn excited. That's the plan. That's what I've got in my mind here, but we'll see. 100% I'm going to be posted on further info, so make sure you guys, this is already going on the YouTube. There's a little reaction here, so hi everyone on YouTube. If you're not already following the YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, please go and give it a follow. And if you're here watching on the YouTube right now, please drop a sub and a like if you enjoyed this little reaction and breakdown for Doom. I know it's a bit out of the blue here because right now what's coming up on my YouTube is Tekken and X-Defiant, but this sort of just dropped out of nowhere as well. And anyone who's been following this channel for any amount of time knows how deeply in love with the Doom games I am. I love this game so much. And I'm so excited after the failure of Mighty Doom that Activision didn't go, all right, we're canning this shit. If the day that id Software gets canned, like all the other studios that were getting shut down, there will be fucking riots from us, and I expect no less. All right, for all those watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your viewership up until this point. And for all of those in the stream, get ready. We're going to do the Wordle and jump into X-Defiant.